for Laxton and Parkland.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and I know you have to take fairness. This one's an exciting one when we have both members of the government caucus and the official opposition wanting to jump up. It's a hot topic, and obviously we all agree on it. Again, to the member from Fish Creek, thank you so much for bringing this forward. Now, we've talked about a lot of the technicalities and all the industries around it. I just want to give you an example of what happened in our constituency, or my constituency, this weekend. I had a chance to take our Premier out and show him God's country, as I like to say it. So first we started up in Marithorpe country, up by San Godo. We looked at some agriculture. Second one, we stopped by a little diner on the way back, and we were on the way to our third stop, which was the Villeneuve Airport. And then followed up again by a place out in Atchison for industrial equipment, looking to service sales and then potential manufacturing. So I kind of did a little Facebook post on it. I said, when we're talking about economic diversification, yeah, we got it. And we have it in buckets full out in our area. The aviation community here has been so undersold for a number of years. I dare, it's bold. We got to think big again. When I was talking to the Premier and I'm giving my 30-second elevator pitch, I'm saying, Premier, this could be Wichita North. You've heard me talk about Texas North and the culture, so now he's kind of looking at me, he's going, Wichita North, what do you mean by that? Well, Wichita, Kansas was literally the birthplace of Cessna, Boeing, companies like Garmin, these little companies, kind of our startups. These are indicative of the industry. And the reason why they had such a bolstering community there was topography. They were kind of the center of the U.S. at the time. And they have fantastic weather. So with this, you can actually start building these innovations. You can actually start building up that robust industry. The other item that we went to one specific company, and there's so many on the field we could have gone to, but we went to Synergy Aviation. So these guys, they started up 5 years ago, Madam Speaker. Only 5 years ago, in questionably some of the hardest economic times that we had, during the COVID events, they actually increased their business. So this is counterintuitive to the type of things. And the Premier wanted to see businesses are up and coming and things are happening. This is one that I could take him to. So they have fixed wing and rotor wing assets. They have AME, so aircraft maintenance engineers. There's such a shortage, as we talked about, they actually put their own program in place so they can apprentice these folks and keep them working on their own aircraft. They have a pilot training program, not just for the general aviation community on rotor wing and fixed wing, it's for their own assets. So there's such a high demand for pilots that are entering into the workforce. By the time they actually get in and fly the big iron, the big jets and everything else around the world, they need to grow their time. And a lot of this comes down to pipeline inspections. So that industry, again, because it's pipelines, you have to fly your right-of-way and do these surveys and look in on your right-of-way, make sure everything is good. These guys are flying at least once a week in all these assets. They have assets up in Dawson Creek all the way down to southern Alberta. Now again, coming back to that training, when you're looking at these pilots, that in industry, if I was to jump out and have my commercial pilot's license and I'm going to fly rotary wing, and if I wanted to take you on a little tour around the area, I'd probably have about 100, 150 hours, maybe 200 hours under my belt. The industry, the actual energy sector, when you're flying their right-of-ways, they want pilots with 1,500 hours. So there's this massive gap between trying to build up your flight time and actually being good enough to inspect pipelines versus handle people. And counterintuitively, it's easier to fly people around than it is to inspect pipe. That's how serious this is taken. So what they've come up with in-house is a monitoring system that they can actually record the movements of the pilot, how they're doing, in this and their flight training, how they're responding to it, and show that there's consistency and repeatability in it in their actual flight training. From that, they've managed to get industry to take it down from 1,500 hours down to 500 hours. Another thing with the actual inspections, they've developed in-house, Madam Speaker, in-house. Laser technology, they shoot a little laser beam down, and with that, when it bounces back to them, they can tell the vibration difference on that light. And they're picking up methane, highly sensitive to picking up these things. So then you've got the drone industry that's taking place and all the imagery that we're talking about. These are the guys that are developing this in-house right at the Villeneuve Airport. That's just one of them. There's so many things that we can grow at this council. Now the problem is we haven't had a problem with innovation. We've had a problem herding the cats together. It's literally, you've got all these independent people. Now here's something that I'll tell you, Madam Speaker. When you're a pilot, there's no question of who's in control. If you have two pilots in that aircraft and you have dual controls, one declares, I have control. And when you turn over controls and the other person's doing it, they have control. Now imagine an entire industry like that. They have control. And they're working their own destinies and they're blazing forward. But unless you can get those groups, those really strong-willed groups working together, they're not going to be as successful as they can. And when these groups are looking to go offshore to literally develop and grow flight time and flight training, we're missing opportunities, Madam Speaker. When you've got Asia has such a deficit in training, and you look at the Red Deer Center of how Red Deer has literally put up different control zones within their control zone and radio frequencies because there's so many pilots that are from offshore right now training in, yes everyone, what could be Wichita North. We can grow these things if we look at a strategic manner to grow our industries. And the only way you're going to do that is with a council like this. So to the member, fantastic. PropWorks, there's another company. So they actually do all the inspections and the rebuilds on your props out in the field. You've got HeliPaint. They do all the painting services out in the field there. HeliQuest. So these are companies, or they have their assets deployed all over North America. These are our own backyards that we have taking place. Flying schools, the Mayo Flying Club, they're right on the field at Villeneuve. You have Centennial Flight Schools, HeliQuest we talked about, they do some training, Synergy. Down at Parkland Aviation, just around the corner. Now, here's a neat thing that we were talking about, this rust remover. So I'm not sure folks are aware that when you have to do recurrency training on your pilots, you actually have to do safety courses that are about 5 to 6 hours every couple of years, and most of us just do them anyway. With COVID, we haven't been able to do it normally. So now I'm part of a group that's coming together to see how we can actually train our pilots through the Canadian Owners and Pilots Association, plus some other groups, and to see how to do this. Now, one of the ways that we're trying to foster that idea to get people excited about this aviation is to do a poker derby. So literally 50 general aviation aircraft are going to go on an undisclosed route at this point. We're going to drop into your towns, and I'm going to be sending out letters to the MLAs who are in those areas so you can have your business owners and your business people that come out that are part of the aviation community, and moreover the ones that aren't. You want to see people showing up in droves to come in and drop into your community, and this is all the general aviation aircraft. So I've been talking lots about general aviation. I've been talking about the amateur builds as well. I'm lobbying for that type of segment to be on there. And the reason for that is that for every general aviation aircraft, you have about 0.5 full-time equivalency that's specifically for it. But when you look at how many jobs are created from that, it's about 1.1. So to put it in context, there's a report from COPA in 2017 talking about the aviation community. So for every one general aviation aircraft that's out there, you're generating about $287,000. That's what's being poured directly into that economy. This isn't the big airlines, this is the private people running these planes. So again, can't thank you enough for pulling this together. I know some other members want to talk, like perhaps the gentleman from, member from Cold Lake, because they have a fantastic flying community down there as well. So with that, thank you so much. Hopefully everything votes in favor of this, and let's get things happening again. Let's fire up that economy, and aviation is going to help us get there. Thank you.